guys. Tonight I wanted to do a video review on a med kit that I ordered. I've spent the last 3 or 4 weeks going over various med kits, trauma bags, and things like that from various websites. I've looked at LA Police Gear, CH Cadell's trauma bag, and several others. And I wanted something that wasn't focused solely on trauma care or the role of the EMT paramedic gear. I wanted something that was would cover that, but would also cover more general use. Something geared a little bit more towards the prepper / survival field. And what I found was there's a site by a man named Doc Bones and his wife, Nurse Amy. They have a store at store.doomandbloom.net where they focus on medical gear for preppers, survivalists, and it's geared to cover trauma as well as a wider range of medical care that you might need in a grid down or disaster type situation. Now, this kit that I ordered, it was considerably more expensive than the LA Police Gear trauma bags. There was another one I was looking at that I can't remember the website for it. CH Cadell's, those bags tend to be around the $150 range. This bag before shipping was $289.99. Shipping was a flat rate of $7.99. Shipped priority mail. It took about 2 days to get here, which is really good considering the box. If I shipped this, it would cost me like $17 to $20. I mean, it was a large box. It weighs a good bit. So the shipping for $7.99, that is a heck of a deal. Now, this bag, you could choose from several different colors of bags. I think there was actually 4 colors. Red, I want to say blue. It was either blue or black. OD green, which is what I ordered, and then coyote tan. I chose OD green, and I was choosing between coyote tan as well, but I settled on OD green because I wanted a bag that was not a bright color. I didn't want to attract attention. These bright orange, bright red, or bright blue trauma bags, for what I wanted, they just attract too much attention. They're too visible. Now I have a bag, a trauma bag that's kind of a dark navy blue. I wanted something a little different. This bag, it's actually a shoulder bag, which is another reason I chose this particular bag. I wanted something where I could, if the situation arose where I needed to grab my bug out bag, I could throw my bug out bag on, and I could throw this over my shoulder, and I could carry both reasonably well, but at the same time still have both my hands free for whatever I might need to do. So that was another major factor in me choosing this bag right here. Also, since this bag was $289.99, it lacked a few things that the trauma bags normally have. The C-collars, the nasopharyngeal airways, the oropharyngeal airways. It didn't have those things. And there's a couple other things. It didn't have a BP cuff, doesn't have a stethoscope. But it has some things that a normal trauma bag wouldn't have. So I want to go through this and then give you my thoughts on it. I think I'm a little disappointed in the size of it, but that's on me. I was expecting a slightly larger bag with a little extra room that I could put some things of my own into. This bag, I have to give it to them, to Doom and Bloom. They packed this bag. It is, you'll see in a minute, there's almost no room left in this bag with all the stuff that they've got in it. Right off the bat, I had this bag say gifts. So this is something extra that they sent me. The first item was a mini compression bandage. I don't know if you guys can see that. This is a 4x7 pad with a 34-inch elastic strap and securing device. It's going to be similar to a Israeli bandage, but that was in the free gifts. They sent me a pen, and then they sent me a card with a little code for 10% off my next purchase with them. I'm going to set that to the side. They also sent, now this bag was somewhat customizable. You could pick your bag color. You could choose between, it comes with 2 tourniquets, and one of them you could choose between either the soft T or the cat tourniquet. I chose the cat tourniquet just because that's what I'm more familiar with. You could choose the color of the tourniquet, black or bright orange. Again, I don't like high visibility colors, so I chose black. You could choose between, you could pick your own hemostatic gauze, which was, you could choose between the Cheeto Sam 6 feet gauze, or you could, I believe the other choice was the Silox. You had the option of adding a hyphen chest seal, a twin pack of that. I didn't add that because I figured I'll buy that later. You could have the option of adding the nasopharyngeal airway kit, but I didn't do that either because I've actually got a couple of those, and I'm going to get more later. And these bags, with every one of their bags or kits, you also have the option of buying their educational videos. There's 4 DVDs worth of videos, but they usually put them on a flash drive so you can watch them on your computer or a TV that has a USB port. That option is an extra $59. I didn't go for that. I might later on, but I have some medical training, and I didn't think it was necessary at this time to order this. Now, another thing about this kit that a lot of people aren't aware of, if you have an FSA or an HSA account with your insurance, the health savings account or the flexible spending account, I have an HSA. They will cover first aid kits. Those are HSA eligible, and I believe they're even FSA eligible to a certain degree. So I was able to pay for this using my health savings account that's attached to my insurance plan through my job. So there's that bonus. If you have one of those accounts but money's still a little bit tight and you've got money in your HSA, you can use that to buy a nice kit like this. And that's actually what I did. I ordered it with my HSA. So first off, the first thing I noticed on this bag was on the shoulder strap, you have this little orange pouch. It's a CPR face shield. I'm not going to take it out all the way out because I'll probably never get it back in. But it looks like maybe a one-time use little plastic CPR face mask that that's folded up nice and tight in there. This has snaps and molly straps on the back so that you can attach it to another bag, which is a good option. I wish it kind of had a little bit of some webbing on the outside so I could add in a couple of extra things like I wanted to add in, but that's all right. So open this up, You flip this down, so you've got 3 major pouches. You got this one here, and then a large one here. So let's start going through this. In this front pouch, right off the bat, 2 6-inch light sticks from Mayday. This is something that wouldn't be in a regular trauma bag. This is a, there are, let's see, 3, 4, 5, 6, yeah, 6 pouches or packets of raw, unfiltered honey. Now, a lot of people might be thinking, honey, why is that in a medical kit? Well, the thing is, honey has a lot of antibacterial properties to it, and it can be used on minor wounds to help prevent infection. So, you've got that. A little flashlight with batteries. Hang on a second, let me move this camera just a little bit closer. I'm trying to get used to using this new tripod that I was using during my last video. And I'm trying to get used to how far away I need to move it. Okay, next up, we've got some tape, medical tape, and it looks like a small roll of duct tape in there as well. Like I said, this bag is packed full. Here we have packets of alcohol prep pads and povidone iodine pads. And there's quite a few in there. This is a SafeTech Sting Relief, insect bite, antiseptic and pain relievers. There's not many of those in there. 2, 4, 6. There's about 12 in there. There's a bag of gloves. A bottle of hand sanitizer. Here we have, let's see, there's burn gel, there's BZK antiseptic towelettes, and a tube of I can never pronounce that, bacitracin zinc ointment. Here we have, let's see, this is going to be a cold pack. Let's see, this is a reusable hot and cold compress, and this is a one-time use cold pack. So there's that. And bear with me because I'm going to try to repack this thing after I'm done. And this is a feeding kit with flat top syringe. This is for wound irrigation. This was put in the bag for wound irrigation. And you can use regular saline or sterilized water in that. So, bear with me a second while I try to cram all this stuff back in that pouch. And then we'll go on to the next pocket. Sanitizer. It's amazing how much stuff they've managed to cram in this this bag. It really is. Let's see. I gotta work to get it all back in there. There we go. See, you can barely seal that back up. You got to work at it. Okay, in the second pocket, there's a few things here. Let's see. Here's the Cheeto-Sam 6-inch or a 3x6-inch hemostatic dressing. This is what you would use to for severe bleeding, large wounds. You would actually use this to pack in the wound. Now I've seen a lot of it has a hemostatic agent on it similar to Silox, or what's the other one? I'm drawing a blank at the moment. But it has a hemostatic agent on the dressing itself, so that when you pack the wound, it'll help stop the bleeding, help it clot. I've seen a lot of people talk about using tampons to plug gunshot wounds. Please, 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 coming from a former EMT, please do not do that. That is a bad idea. Those things are not sterile, and they're not designed or intended to plug a gunshot wound. They may, and I repeat, they may work, but there's better items on the market for that. I just, please don't do that. That's a bad idea. All right, so you got your Cheeto Sound, which you with this bag you had the choice of that Cheeto Sam or the Silox bandage. All right, now here we've got a bag of all kinds of goodies. I'm gonna pull some of that out. More gloves. I don't want to mess with those too much. Here is the cat tourniquet. This is a trauma wound dressing, 6-inch hemorrhage control dressing. This is a, I forget the name of this pad. This is a large pad for you to spread out on the ground or on the table to spread your equipment out on, to keep it from on a sterile, clean surface. I can't think of the name of it offhand. A Surgipad. There, okay. And this is the SWAT T tourniquet. It's a stretch wrap and tuck tourniquet. So, all right. Tell you what, they are good at packing stuff in these bags. There we go. I'll get you in there one way or another. Man, that just does not want to go. Okay, I'll reseal that later, because I still haven't put the gloves back in. I just realized. Okay, I'll seal that one back up later. All right, next up in this bag, you've got your shears, your scissors, hemostats, tweezers, you've got tongue depressors, you've got a thermometer, you've got super glue for minor wounds and cuts, two scalpels, pin light, that's a bright one too, moleskin, 2 silk non-absorbable sutures, and a finger-sized SAM splint. This is a moldable splint for those that aren't familiar with these. You can basically cut it and shape it to whatever size you need for your finger or whatever. I wish that other pouch resealed that good. Alright, here we've got a basic CPR, AED, and basic first aid guide that was included. And I'm not sure why, but I have 2 of these. They're essentially the same thing. It's 2 copies of this. It's bleeding control instructions. So I've got 2 copies of that for whatever reason. Then you also have a SAM splint guide on how to use the different ways you can use the SAM splint. And that's it for that pouch. I'm just going to leave that one to the side. I got to repack it later. Alright. Last pouch. The big thing in here, you have a larger SAM splint. This is good for a leg, arm. So you have a large one. I already have one of these in my other bag, so it's nice to have another one. Okay, here we have an assortment of band-aids, bandages, things like that. You've got woven gauze sponges, iPads. You have a large blood stop multi-purpose trauma dressing. You've got some large 4x4 gauzes. 3" by 4" gauzes. You have about 4 of the ABD tampon abdominal pad. So you've got a nice assortment of bandages here. And I really like how they've separated things into different bags to help keep it organized. That's a really good thing in my opinion. That makes it a lot easier to keep everything organized and together. Now, you've got in this bag, you've got conforming stretch gauze. You've got 2 of these. Here's a bag of Ipren, which is a ibuprofen pain reliever. A little bottle of Gold Bond body powder. 2 solar blankets. I've got more of those things than I need now. 2 triangular bandages, a couple of ace bandages in here, and this top one is a self-adhesive, self-adherent bandage. There's another pad there, and I don't want to touch them, but there's a couple of surgical masks. So that's what you get in this kit. That's a huge amount of bandaging material. Now there's some things I want to double up on some of these bandages. That's one reason I was hoping that the bag would be a little bit larger and would have some room in it. Is I was hoping to be able to toss in 2 or 3 Israeli bandages. I toss Israeli bandages into just about every damn thing. I'll toss it into first aid kits, bug out bags. If I got a hiking backpack, I'll toss a couple of them in there. I have a backpack I carry to work with me. Uh, I carry a few things in, and I've got 2 or 3 in that because these days you never know. It's crazy, you know, workplace shootings and stuff like that. I want to be prepared, and I know that my job has kits, but I also know that nobody there is really properly trained. They just go through a basic first aid, and I'm talking about super basic first aid class. It's basically just put your hands on the wound if you want to, compression. They do CPR, AED, and that's it. Call 911, and that's it. They don't teach people how to properly deal with wounds. And we have like one kit in the manager's office that I would compare to this. And no, I prefer to have stuff myself so that if something happens to me, if there's a workplace shooting, you're going to have multiple, there's a high likelihood of having multiple victims, multiple injuries. And one kit like that is insufficient for what I would consider a mass shooting at a workplace. So I like to carry my own stuff in. Besides, that way, if I'm isolated or whatever from my coworkers or whoever has the bag, I've got my own stuff with me so that I can self-treat. But like I said, my one complaint is that this bag is a little bit smaller than what I expected. But I mean, I would like for there to be a little bit more room. I can probably squeeze a few more things in here, but not many. Not as much as I had hoped. I mean, I was expecting it to be another inch or two wider this way, and that would have given me plenty of room to pack a whole bunch of other stuff in it. But compared to the $140, $150 trauma packs from LA Police Gear, that other website, I still can't think of the name of that other website, CH Cadell's, places like that, I've seen them on Amazon. Those bags actually have fewer bandages in them than this one does. This right here has almost twice the stuff in it as the trauma bag. But it is lacking some things. It's lacking, there's no BP cuff, there's no stethoscope. If you need a cervical collar, there's no airways in this thing, which I can add an airway. Airways don't take up that much room. And simple things like that. And like I said, I do have another bag that's set up more like a regular trauma bag. I'm missing a lot of stuff out of that, things that have been used over the years, so I've got to restock and reorganize that one. But this is something that I can, if I got to grab my bug out bag, put that on, and then I can slip this over my shoulder, and I still got 2 hands free that I can do what I got to do. So those were my main reasons for choosing this one over the other. I'll have a link to the website where I ordered this in the description, in the show description. But overall, I'm really happy with this. This will be a good addition to my preps, and this will definitely be my grab and go kit, which is what it's for. This is the review of the. This is actually their medium grab and go kit. They actually have others that are bigger than this and more involved. You've got the family size grab and go, which is a backpack style bag, and then they've got that one's like $600, and then they've got one that's about $800 that's bigger than that. It's a full stomp kit. It's a larger backpack, and it's got what you would expect an EMT bag to have, plus things like this. And I would like to have one of those, but it's difficult to throw down $800 on a bag. So this is a good intermediate range first aid kit, in my opinion, because it can cover a lot of off-grid medical care and pretty much anything any individual would need. And if you get a kit like this, I strongly suggest you get some sort of training on how to use some of this stuff. There are wilderness first aid classes, first responder classes, first aid, CPR classes. Take those. Any class you can afford to take, I would highly recommend taking it. There are people that offer classes that teach bleeding control in a mass shooting situation. Some of them, Patriot Nurse is one. Archangel Dynamics. I believe there are some others. I'm sure there's plenty of others. But they offer classes on how to do things like this, use this kind of stuff. So if you don't know how, the classes aren't necessarily cheap, but they are well worth the money. So definitely look into getting some level of medical training. Everybody should have some level of medical training. That's my belief anyway. All right. I think that's going to wrap it up for this. This is, like I said, this is a really good bag. It is on the expensive side, but like I said, I was able to pay for it with my HSA account, so that helped. It wasn't coming out of my everyday funds, and this is definitely a good option, something to consider. They also have smaller kits, IFAC kits, individual kits. They've got motorcycle first aid kits. So those are things to look into. I'm probably going to be ordering some more stuff from them, and anything I order, I will be doing a review on. But yeah, make sure you have a good kit, even if you don't order from these people. And I'm not sponsored by these people. They're not sponsoring this channel. This is just my thoughts on what I ordered from them. Have some kind of kit in your car. If you ride a motorcycle, get a motorcycle size kit. If you go to school, have a small kit in your backpack for your school. Especially something like an Israeli bandage. They don't take up a lot of room. Throw one of them in there. I mean, they're about the size of this SWAT T-pack in here. I mean, they're stack a couple of packs of cigarettes on top of each other. That's how big they are, if that. So there's no reason not to have at least one Israeli bandage nearby at all times. And they can save your life. Throw a tourniquet in there. Tourniquets save lives. All right, folks. That'll just about do it. If you haven't, subscribe to my channel. Like this video, comment any thoughts you might have, and stay tuned. I've got more coming. Catch you guys later.